What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back here with another realistic rebuild here in 2K25. We only have like 3 of these left to do after this video, and we'll be done with the realistic series. But today we have the Phoenix Suns. And obviously, I think the easiest way to rebuild the Phoenix Suns in 2K is probably just to trade the big 3 or trade, trade Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, get some assets in return. You can reset things. Well, today, for today's realistic rebuild, the only rule I have in place is we cannot trade Devin Booker. Let's jump in and do a Phoenix Suns realistic rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. I think we're all aware of what kind of tough rebuild we have in front of us, especially if we can't trade Devin Booker to accumulate some assets back in return. Because as we all know, Matt Ishbia came in and they went basically all in as you can be. And right now they're the 8th seed. And honestly, I don't think the investment's going to pay off. Unfortunately, it's just not going to. But of course, you have Durant, Booker, Bradley Beal. They got Tyus Jones on a really cheap contract, which was awesome. Nurkic is their center. Plumlee. Like, they got some solid players. But as the 8th seed right now, with just how good the West is, I don't think this team's beating the Thunder in a 7-game series. And it's just going to be tough. And like I said, to, put this team back on the map, put this team back on track, get assets in return. Trading Booker and Durant might inevitably be the thing they do in the future. Well, today, like I said, we are not trading Devin Booker. He is the Phoenix Suns core player. They drafted him. He's been here forever, and we're going to build a team around him. Hopefully, we're going to try anyway. So, one thing I do know with the Suns team is they are not a good simulation team, unfortunately. It would not surprise me at all if this team just remotely fell off, and that's all she wrote for us this season. So, want to make sure shot tendencies look good enough, and I'm fine with it. I can maybe push Durant's up to a 90. But other than that, we'll rock with it. And we can push Booker's up to like a 95 or something. But other than that, we'll simulate the rest of year 1. And we'll see how this team finishes out. Hopefully, we find ourselves in the playoffs. But like I said, it would not surprise me if this team fell off. Because one thing I've noticed, I think, about the Suns is they don't do well in the 2K simulation. So we'll see what happens. But as you can see, we've ripped off like 6 losses in a row. So we're probably screwed this first season. Today's video is brought to you by Daily Grind Fantasy's Optimizer. If you play on apps such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or any of these other DFS apps, having a tool like this is awesome to finding good plays on these DFS apps right in front of you without having to do little to no research. So as you can see, we're on their board right now. Now, there's only one NBA game tonight as I'm recording this, but we do have a play on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 43.5 PRA. As you can see, every single book is favoring for him to go over. And I like this spot as well since this is for the in-season championship. So yeah, I like that a lot. And you even have one book listing us at 45.5. You got one at 44.5. So clear value here. You also have some EuroLeague stuff here. Don't know anything about this guy, but you don't really know anything about him. You got every single book favoring his under at 10.5. So that's why we like that. And we found those plays pretty quickly. And of course, like I said, there's always more plays here, the more games that are available on the night. And then we also, of course, love PrizePicks. So make sure to check out PrizePicks. Link is down in the description below. Use code Crushables. They have a free square right now in Nikola Jokic. You get $50 instantly when you just play $5 using code Crushables. So make sure to check out both those links. Code Crushables on Daily Grind Fantasy gets 25% off your first month. And on PrizePicks, as I said, you get $50 instantly when you play $5. So other than that, let's get back to the rebuild. So at the end of the season, Anthony Edwards wins MVP, which is something I don't usually see. It's always usually Luka Doncic, as we all know. Kid's your coach of the year. Hobson's your executive. Shai's your MVP. McCain's rookie of the year. And Ahmed Thompson, 6th man, winning defensive player. And Suggs, most improved. So here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third. One thing I'm happy about, though, is I think we made the playoffs. We did. So we are the 6th seed in the West. I think this is exactly how it matched up last year. I think the Suns ended up being the 6th seed and Minnesota Timberwolves ended up being the 3rd seed. So it's pretty much an exact rematch of last year. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at the player stats, kind of see how that ended. 25 from Booker, 25 from Durant, and 16 from Bradley Beal. But I'm happy we at least made the playoffs because that's important with where this team is at right now. We got to at least be in the dance. So we're going to shrink this down to a 9-minute rotation for the playoffs. And we'll have our starters playing as many minutes as possible, obviously. So we'll see how this goes against Minnesota, which is usually a team that does fairly well in this first season. They usually make it to the finals. So I don't like our odds here, but here goes nothing. So Game 1 goes to Minnesota. They beat us by 11. Game 2, we even it up. Okay, 114 and 109. We're not done yet. We did get one win in Minnesota, which is nice. And we win Game 3. Okay. Are we going to beat the Timberwolves? We're up 3-1 right now. Don't get my hopes up, 2K. I thought we'd be bounced easily by this team. But right now, we find ourselves up 3-2 in position to eliminate this team in round 1. If we can eliminate the Timberwolves, then there's a lot of different things we can do. And we did. Wow. I was not expecting that. I thought we'd get bounced in round 1. But boy, was I wrong. We beat them. And the Lakers beat the Thunder in 4. Holy crap. Okay. This bracket has swung way differently than I ever could have anticipated. And then on the Eastern side, you got Atlanta. Trae Young takes down the Knicks once again, which is crazy. Man, Knicks fans would hate him even more if that occurred. And you got Dallas and Golden State on the other side, which makes sense, but it does suck to see Denver get eliminated. All right, so LA, D'Lo, Dalton Connect, Rui, LeBron, AD. This will be interesting because I can see this going either way. But Durant versus LeBron in a 7-game series, sign me up, man. Especially since LeBron is probably on the way out of basketball. We could get this one last time. That'd be awesome. Don't know if we'll get that lucky in real life, but here we go. Game 1, they're up 1-0. They get one in Phoenix, but we do even it up. So hopefully we can get one in LA. And can we do it in game 4? Yes, we can. So this is a 4 or a tied series now. Back to game 5. We have 2 games at home in these last 3 games. Can we win our first one at home to take a 3-2 lead? We didn't have a lead there for a second, but we do take it now. And just like that, we actually go up 112 to 1, or we beat them 130 to 112. And now we go to a game 6 back in LA. And the fact that we made it this far is really promising. I think Matt Ishbia would be, you know, just so happy if something like this happened. And we are going to get into the conference finals. I did not expect this to happen, dude. Devin Booker with 66 freaking points. Are you serious? Well, we're going to need that because I think we're about to draw Dallas, and we did. So Dallas in the conference finals is not ideal. We all know what Dallas is, but I thought the same thing about Minnesota, and we beat them. So I guess there's a chance here. I guess pushing Durant shot tendency up just 5 overall just really helped out a ton. I didn't expect it to make that big of an impact, but it did. So here we go, or I guess it wasn't like 5. I don't remember what it was, but I pushed up, as we know. So here we go against Dallas. You know, Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, they're best friends, as we all know. Game 1 goes to Dallas. Game 2, they're up 2-0. Game 3, okay, so we win game 3. So we're back in home. So winning this game 4 would be crucial to obviously giving ourselves a chance here. And we're on the cusp of maybe winning it. We can't blow the lead at the end. And the fact that we are here right now is shocking me beyond belief, dude. I did not think we'd even... I know I keep saying that, but bro, I thought we'd be bounced so quickly. We couldn't even really, you know, I don't even react, I guess. But here we are in a position to maybe make the finals, but Dallas is going to win this game 5. So every single time the home team has won, can we continue that? And Atlanta is in the finals as well. So can we win at home once again to push this to a game 7 back in Dallas? We have the lead right now, and we're going to a game 7, ladies and gentlemen, I think. Okay, so they almost made it close there at the end, but every single time the home team has won, can we win on the road to get into the finals in year 1? I did not anticipate this ever being a position we'd be in. So here we go, game 7. At least make it close, man. I would love to jump in and see if I can win it for us, but it's not even going to be close, I don't think, unless... no, it's not close. We lose in 7 to Dallas. Man, what an effort we put up, but unfortunately fall short of our goal. Mavericks, Hawks, and the Mavericks go on and win it all. So that is really disappointing, but I am shocked that we made it that far to begin with. So LeBron James is going to call it a career after losing in round 2. Here the rest of your retirement. So what do I take from that? Well, I think we have to say, okay, we were super close. We'll see if we can do remotely anything else this offseason. It's not going to be easy with, obviously, the new CBA for Phoenix. So I have to really follow, because I know Phoenix isn't going to be able to aggregate contracts. You know, we're not going to be able to do a ton of stuff. So just like kind of we did in the Knicks video yesterday, where we made small moves, that's probably what we'll be doing today again. So we have a 2nd-round pick and a 1st-round pick that I'm assuming the Suns probably can't even touch with how many picks they've traded and the, obviously, Stepien rule existing. So the one contract to me that sticks out that we could maybe trade away to get something is obviously Grayson Allen. We can't only trade him alone. We can't aggregate any salaries together. Nurkic's salary is interesting as well. So we'll explore both of these, but we can't trade the big 3. I'm not going to anyway. Now, Durant being on an expiring contract is interesting. I guess if at the deadline we're bad, we might have to explore the idea of trading him away. But let's go see what Nurk can get us, I guess. We'll see if anything pops up. Again, we can't combine salaries together. There has to be, and I doubt we can trade a 1st-round pick either. So it has to be really interesting. So Poe Larson a 1st from Miami. If we're going to go try to win, so like this one's interesting. We get Nick Richards and Grant Williams, but unfortunately, I don't think we can trade a 1st-round pick. So that's why we probably won't do that. We get Kevin Huerter and a 1st-round pick from Sacramento, which is live protected. I don't know if Nurk's worth the 1st to anybody, though. Hardy in a 1st, Stewart and Simone. Olenek is interesting, I guess. And then Zach Collins from San Antonio. The Thunder will just take him straight up. I guess it would like free up some money. So out of all these, not really, like, I don't mind the Zach Collins idea, I guess. We would get off Nurkic is expiring anyway. I was about to say, we get off Nurkic's contract sooner. But yeah, I don't know. Not really liking anything there. So let's see what Grayson Allen can do for us. Can Grayson Allen get us anything? AJ Green and okay, Jalen Smith and Phillips. All right. Max Strus, Derek Jones Jr., Bogdan, Duncan Robinson. No, thank you. Cody Martin is interesting. We trade a second round pick to Charlotte. I could maybe get there, free up some money a little bit. Kevin Herter, not really changes too much for us. Jonathan Isaac is actually interesting because Orlando could maybe use some three-point shooting and then we get some defense. I actually kind of like this idea. We might end up doing that trade right there. Olynyk, Jock Landale, Zach Collins. DiVincenzo is crazy too, but I think he's too valuable for Minnesota to do something like this. So this one's cool too, getting Moses Moody, but I think I'm gonna do the trade with the Magic. I think it makes sense where they get some shooting from Grayson Allen and we get Jonathan Isaac and get some defense. So I'm gonna do this trade. And that should be interesting to see how that goes for us. I remember Jonathan Isaac used to be compared to Kevin Durant, so now they're teammates. Just obviously based off their build, 6'10", or whatever, 6'11". But all right. Maybe we'll wait till after the draft, but I do want to explore the idea of trading Nurkic again to see if we get a different center in the building because I don't really love him as starting center next year. If we could find a way to change that, that'd be extravagant. Now, I think we did save just a tad bit of money on the Isaac trade, but I don't think that changed like obviously anything too crazy. Like we're definitely still over the second apron by a ton. So yeah, that's not going to change anything. So let's go to player options. And we got nothing going on here. Qualifying offers. We got some few free agents and then free agency. I think the only thing we can do is sign minimum contracts, I believe. Vince Williams being here once again is crazy. I don't know why he keeps getting waived, but he was in there or available for the next video too. So we have no point guard right now, clearly. So that's kind of important if we can find a way to fix that. But that might end up moving Beal and Booker back to the backcourt. Might have to do that. So, and then Durant could maybe start the small forward. And Isaac could start the small forward. So either way, I think Isaac will become a starter this year. And then Iguodaro and then Nurkic. So like the one position to me that I would love to upgrade is the backup five really badly. Now, if we get rid of, well, O'Neal, Okogie, so like those are actually, so we don't really need Vince Williams as much. That'd be cool to do. I did see B-Ball Paul, who just re-signed with Detroit, but I don't know if we have the money to sign him. So let's see. Because he'd actually be a solid backup. Did Zach Collins just get waived too? He did. Wow. The Spurs just waived him. All right. Is there a center? Can we sign Paul Reed to a minimum? No. Like, would he sign a minimum contract? I have no idea. No, he says no. So we might have to wait on that. So I only think we can sign minimum contracts with where we're at. But all right, I'm going to try again on a Nurkic trade. I guess we'll trade our second to maybe do it and see if we can get a center to pop up that we like that's better than Nurk. So see, I can get behind this, but I don't think we can trade a first round pick is my only issue with this trade. So can I find a way to do this without Matisse Thybulle and we just trade a second for Robert Williams? Because Robert Williams has his injury history, right? He's not going to be that valuable. So let me see if I can do this with just a second. I doubt it. Which I guess the Blazers can't even do that anyway. So can you give me like, I don't know, Keegan Murray's probably Chris Murray's probably too valuable to them. Kamara, obviously, no. Chris Murray, like, I doubt we could do something like that. So they want a Kogi and they'll give me Thybulle, but we can't combine salaries. So Robert Williams would be obviously most ideal here if we could find a way to do it. Can we do it without Nurkic? Maybe do Royce O'Neal instead? I don't know if that would do it. And nah, they say no to that. They're not down for that. Okay. Okogie probably doesn't change anything, so nah. And then yeah, so there's really nobody. So Nurkic, maybe we just do that original trade and just, I don't know. I can't trade a first for Thybulle. I can't do it for Thybulle and Patrick Williams. But this trade popped up earlier, which I guess is not popping up now. But this one was interesting to me. Now this would really screw us at the center position, but Chicago just straight up offered me Patrick Williams. And the only reason why I see them wanting to do this, if they just wanted off his contract, obviously because they just paid him a 3-year deal. And they just want to free up money. Maybe they were after a free agent. I don't know. And Nurkic would be expiring. Robert Williams is great, but I just can't get behind trading first. This one's cool too, but I can't see the Nets trading Clowney for Nurk. So to me, we're going to do this trade to Chicago. We're going to really screw ourselves at the center position for now, but we're going to find a way to fix it. Patrick Williams and a second round pick. Nurkic goes to Chicago. They dump off Patrick Williams' salary. Nurkic is expiring. So yeah, we get Patrick Williams and Isaac in the same offseason, which feels solid. We're at this point just trying to accumulate players that can help our rotation next year. We don't really have a plan right now. The next position we really need is a center, and we'll see if we can accomplish that. So since we got so many forwards now, Jalen Smith might be somebody we have to go for. Like, we have to maybe just go for the best position, best center we can get. Gogo Badatste in a first. Zeke Naji. I mean, we might have to do the trade with Chicago, although that totally eliminates everything I just said, how they wanted to get rid of some salary. So we probably won't do that because that just negates everything we just went through. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I think, is we are going to just go to the last day of free agency and see if there's any bargain contracts we can sign. I don't think there's any bird right players. So yeah, Paul Reed is somebody I'm very interested in if we can get him. We're going to go to day 12 and see if there's a minimum center we can sign. So like Paul Reed might go all the way down to a minimum on day 12. And that'd be kind of the most ideal thing if possible. Will he sign a minimum on day 12? I think we might get lucky enough for him to sign it. Let's see. No, he says no. Okay, it's a little bit of above a minimum, but like, would he offer? Yeah, okay, so he'll accept that. We'll absolutely take that. Is there anybody else like Dinwiddie on a minimum or Monte Morris? Monte Morris on a minimum might be good too. He was just here, so we're gonna sign him. Gary Trent on minimum would feel pretty good too, but I don't know if we can get him on a minimum contract. So let's see if we can get him on a minimum. Nah, he's not gonna sign. He's not gonna sign him in. So we're not gonna get him, unfortunately. So no. So we're not gonna get Gary Trent. Is there anybody else just in case? Drummond is interesting. If we can get Drummond and Paul Reed as our center rotation, it's not the greatest looking center rotation, but if we can get that to go down, I think that'd feel good. He might sign that. Okay. Paul Reed and Drummond would be good. So I actually like that a lot. So we get all three of those guys. We got a few guys back in the qualifying offers. So Bradley Beal is down in overall. Kind of figured that. Ryan Dunn's up to 79, which is nice. Patrick Williams is also up. Iguodala is up. So maybe he's our starting center next year. Which is, not the most ideal thing in the world. Paul Reed went down to overall, which I was not anticipating. But yeah, that's what we're going to rock with. So we'll see how this season goes. We're going to move Booker to, we're going to move some positions around. So let me do that, and I'll show you guys what our rotation is looking like for next season. So our proficiency is a 4.5 going to the season, and Power Rank has us at 5th overall. So, I mean, it looks like things might go well, but here's what we're going to rock with. So it's Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Jonathan Isaac, Andre Drummond, Patrick Williams, Ryan Dunn, Okogie, and Monte Morris. That does leave Iguodala. Actually, I want Iguodala to play this year, so let's go ahead and put him in. That's going to put Royce O'Neal in, which I'd actually prefer to play him probably over Monte Morris. So we'll do something like that, and we'll get Iguodala some minutes here. So that's probably what we'll rock with for the season. And yeah, so that's what it's going to look like. So hopefully things go just as good as they did last year, where we got to the conference finals and we're one game away from the finals. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Drummond's going to give us some ability at the center position. If we're bad, we might have to trade Kevin Durant while he's an expiring contract, because obviously if we're not going to be in position to go win a championship, then there's no need to keep Kevin Durant and re-sign him to a big contract. So we'll see how the season goes. So based off how the season goes, I'll either see you at the end of year 2 or at the trade deadline. So we are at the trade deadline because we are simply not good enough on the season. And when it comes to superstar trades, you guys know we're overriding things to make it happen. So I do want to acknowledge, though, that Durant is at this point 37 years old on an expiring contract. So it's not like you're going to get 5 firsts for him. I don't think that'll be the position that you will get. So I have this trade with the Warriors where they pair Durant back with Draymond and Stephen Curry. So we're getting Kuminga, Wiggins, Grant Williams, and a first-round pick. Now, usually I would not aggregate salaries in this situation, but 2K, you can't make trades unless the rosters match up. Like, obviously, if I try to do this, it'll say this trade is illegal, right? So we have to have other players in here to make it happen. But just, they're redundant. They're not really going to matter in the long term anyway. So this is what we're going to do. Kevin Durant for these 4 pieces. So we're not getting anything too crazy. We're just getting a first-round pick this year. We have Kuminga, who could be a nice piece for us going forward. And we're going to make that happen. So Durant goes to play with goes to play with Draymond and Steph to go try to win one more championship. We're 11 games under 500, so I think it made the most sense to trade away Kevin Durant while he's an expiring contract. That way, we don't lose him for nothing, and we're not re-signing him to a long contract when we're just not on the position to go do anything. I think this was kind of the simulation I was expecting. I didn't think we'd be good enough, and we'll move Kuminga now to small forward. And Wiggins will obviously play a massive role here as well. Probably going to play him at shooting guard, to be honest with you. Beal can go to the bench for all I care. So, or I guess Wiggins will come off the bench. Either way. But, I mean, this roster still has some solid pieces. So, it's not like we're in a total bad position. But, again, we're not trading Devin Booker in this video. We're going to try to retool this around him. But I don't anticipate us making the playoffs this season. But I guess we've ripped off 4 in a row after the Durant trade. So, who knows? Maybe we'll find a way in the play-in and get our way into the playoffs. So at the end of year 2, Jokic wins MVP, Flags Rookie of the Year, Amon's your 6th-man win defensive player, and Brandon Miller most improved, and clutch goes to Shea, and Greg Popovich Coach of the Year, and Aaron Phillips is your executive. So here's your All-NBA first team. Stephen Curry makes it, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third. Did Devin Booker make it? I didn't really see if he made one or not, and he did. He's right there in front of my face, and I passed him a couple times. But we did make it into the play-in, and the Warriors are the 6th seed, so we'll see how far they go with Durant added to that roster. But we're in the play-in, so I guess we can't be too upset. But obviously, Devin Booker leading the way with 32, Kuminga 15, Bradley Beal 14.5, and Andrew Wiggins 12. On Drummond with 10 and 10, and then 9.5 from Patrick Williams. So let's see if we beat the Grizzlies, and we do. Okay, so we actually might find our way into the playoffs, and who knows? Maybe we could go upset the Spurs and go on a deep run again. I doubt it, but we get Houston here now, who obviously have our picks, but and they could eliminate. Dude, this would actually be funny for Houston because they could eliminate us. That way, they get a lottery pick and they make the playoffs. That'd be like a win-win for them, and they did just that. So you got the Spurs, and the Warriors got bounced in 7 by the Mavericks, unfortunately, and the Thunder go on to win it all with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as your conference finals MVP, or sorry, finals MVP. Draymond Green is going to call it a career now, and now we go to the draft lottery. So for the lottery, you know, I kind of wish I would have traded for Draymond because his contract would be off our books entirely. That'd be kind of nice. So we got the Warriors pick at least, and then our pick obviously is going to, I believe, the Rockets now, which let's see where that, I guess it is what, pick number... wait, where did our pick end up? Suns via Phoenix. I do not see. Wow, the Grizzlies have it at number 4. Holy crap, that's pretty wild. So don't know how the Grizzlies have it. It must be from some like pick swap. I don't know, dude. The Suns picks are so confusing in my opinion with everything they've done. But our pick ends up being number 4 in this draft class. Really sucks. We do have the 21st overall pick, so we'll see what we can do with that. But for staff signing, we'll keep Mike Budenholzer still here. We're gonna have to figure out how are we going to make this a contender now with Devin Booker obviously being the leader here. So he's got 2 years left of his contract. So we have a 2-year window. Kuminga is going to be a solid piece. I'm excited about that. Wiggins is still a solid player too. So I'm excited about having him. Bradley Beal, is it time for him to go? No, he's a player option. No, it's a team option. Oh boy, we're declining that as soon as possible. So he will be off our books entirely, which will be awesome. Obviously, he has no trade clause. So I'm excited for him to be gone. W. All right, so he'll be gone, which will clear Wiggins' way. And I guess we'll go ahead and draft with pick number 21. So let's go see. And by the way, apparently they just finalized some all-star formats. So that's kind of cool. Whoops, I didn't mean to click that right away. But all right, so we have Mikal Brown Jr. here. We have Caden Boozer. We have Dash Daniels. Give me Dash Daniels, and that will be your selection here. Australia, 6'6" guard, 72 overall. Probably won't contribute this year. Obviously, as I mentioned, we're going to decline Beal as fast as possible. And then we can let these guys go, or, you know, they might come back to their qualifying offers or whatever. So, Beal's a free agent, which we could resign him for $23 million, but I think I'm just fine with letting him go and, you know, resetting there. So, what are we doing now? So, we have Devin Booker, we have Wiggins, Royce O'Neal. This rotation isn't bad. Kuminga, Patrick Williams, it's not terrible. Ryan Dunn's going to continue to develop. Our center position is a massive problem. We don't have a center, but one thing I will say is we are probably under the second apron now, right? If we are, that makes things a little bit easier. And we absolutely are. Okay, so we can combine some salaries. Now, we don't have first-round picks to trade away still. I don't know if any have freed up. So, actually, I guess we have one freed up in the future in 2030. So, with that all being said, or they may have traded their 2030 pick in real life. I don't know. But we have it here in 2K. So, with that being said, I think we try to upgrade the center position as fast as possible because I actually think Wiggins, Kuminga, Patrick Williams could be a solid starting 5 around Devin Booker. If we can find a way to get some center here, I don't know who it will be, but if we can find something, it would be pretty solid. So let's see if we can do like Royce O'Neal, Grant Williams, and Dash Daniels who we just drafted and see if we can get like, I don't know, some kind of center here. So could we give like Cleveland, Royce O'Neal, Dash Daniels, Grant Williams for Jarrett Allen? And then again, we trade one of our first round picks to keep going all in on Devin Booker. Would they do this? And they don't agree. Okay, damn. I was like, damn, we might actually be able to make this happen. A second? No. What about another second? Does that make it happen? No, unfortunately it does not. Damn, that'd been awesome if we could get Jarrett Allen. But fortunately, Jarrett Allen's not going to be available. We can't trade Ryan Dunn or Iguodala. I really like those pieces going forward. So Jarrett Allen is not going to be a plausible choice. Unfortunately, that was my first option. Porzingis is interesting too. I don't usually ever trade for Porzingis, but Boston, you know, is usually pretty bad in the 2K sim, and Bam Adebayo also could be interesting. Now, Jarrett Allen is only making $28 million, so Bam Adebayo making $50 million is probably going to be too tough to get to. But let's see if we get Porzingis in the building. I don't know if we'll be able to, but we at least got to try. Embiid would be crazy too. But again, just making a lot of money. So Boston, which I don't even know where they're at. If they were bad last year, I have actually no clue at this point. But I'm going to see if we can pull this off still. So we're going to go Royce O'Neal. We need 17 more million in the trade. So Grant Williams, Dash Daniels. Is that enough? No, we need 7 more million. So it's going to have to include Isaac too, probably, which sucks. But all of this for Porzingis, would they do it? No, they're contenders. They're not going to do this. I'll trade a 2030 first now. The Porzingis, we're not going to be able to get a center, at least not yet, unfortunately. Embiid is probably going to be obviously not plausible either. And we don't have cap space, right? Yeah, so we don't have cap space or anything like that. So, or, you know, what would be crazy is if we did a sign and trade with Boston, Beal for Porzingis, but that's probably not going to be something that happens. Now, Zubac could be another option. Jakob Poeltl could be another option. So there is definitely some centers to go after. So let's try for Zubac really quickly. Let's see if the Clippers could play ball here. And we shouldn't have to give up too much to make this happen either. Royce O'Neal and Grant Williams. Is that enough for Zubac just straight up? No, not going to happen. What about a couple seconds? But we're going to make this work, guys, if it's the last thing we do. I don't feel good about trading Dash Daniels for Zubac, but, I mean, it's an 85 overall. Do we trade a 2030 first instead? And no, they're still not agreeing. What about another second? And they make it happen. Okay, so we keep Dash Daniels on the trade. We get our center, which we really needed badly. So Zubac and Iguodala is our new center rotation. Ryan Dunn, Isaac is our power forward spot. Kuminga, Williams, Wiggins, Dash Daniels, and we definitely need to sign a guard. So Beal, you know, Beal could be interesting to still sign and trade. So he wants 30 million. Are you kidding me, Bradley Beal? What are we doing here, man? What'd you even do last year? 14. I mean, he still shot pretty well from 3. But I would love nothing more than to see if I can sign and trade Bradley Beal. But I don't know if he's still going to be available. He has no offers right now, and it says he expects 22 million, but he's asking for way more than that. So let's just keep tabs on him to see if he gets any offers, because if we can sign and trade Beal for anything, that would be ideal. So let's see if we can make that happen. Are you going to come down on your... Dude, 32 million is crazy. Okay, maybe I can bring it down. He's still going to be interested. Let's say 3-year deal. All right, he'll accept that, and we'll trade him immediately for anything. So if any contending team wants him, and I don't care, you know, what we get, I just want anything. Yabusele and Caleb Martin, like Philadelphia. I'm actually cool with that first trade. Giddey's pretty interesting from Chicago, but I mean, because we have Giddey at shooting guard, or point guard, sorry, rather. I actually kind of Mikal from New York. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do the trade with Chicago. Well, should I do this? Why would they trade Josh Giddey for Bradley Beal? It makes actually no sense. So we're actually just going to go ahead and do this trade with Philadelphia, where we get Yabusele and Caleb Martin. So we'll make something happen with those guys. But we get Bradley Beal out of here. Philadelphia gets another win now guard. Ryan Dunn is up to an 82 overall. Kuminga is up. And Wiggins is down 2 overall because obviously moved him to shooting guard earlier. But all right, we can rock with this. We can make something happen with this rotation. Yabusele might start or be the actually backup center over Iguodala for now. But I feel decent about where we're at. And we'll see what the lineup looks like going into year 3. I don't know if this is going to win a championship or anything, but I think we'll be a playoff team for sure. The one thing I am going to do is I'm going to push Jonathan Kuminga's shot tendency up very high, because he's going to have to be the guy that takes some pressure off Devin Booker, in my opinion. So we're going to do that. Wiggins will leave it at 66. And yeah, so Kuminga is obviously the guy that needs to step up if we're going to have any success here. But here is rotation for year 3. It's Booker, Wiggins, Kuminga, Isaac, Zubac, Dunn, Patrick Williams, Yabusele, and Iguodala. So we'll see how this ends up going. So I guess we'll be playing Iguodala and Yabusele in the rotation, which is fine. So that's going to leave Caleb Martin out of it. But one thing we can do, I guess, is maybe we can move Iguodala. Does he go up at power forward? He does. So we'll move him to the power forward spot. He'll be a higher overall there. So yeah, I'm cool with that. We can rock with that, and we'll see how this season goes. I'll see you guys either at the deadline or at the end of year 3, just kind of depending on how the season goes. But right now, it's just off to a mid start, so we'll see how it ends up finishing out. So actually, to go ahead and do a very early trade here, we're going to be trading Dash Daniels and Wiggins for DeJounte Murray. So what this is going to do, this is going to move Devin Booker back to shooting guard, his more natural position, and Murray will be his point guard backcourt mate, which I like that fit a lot. So now it's Murray, Booker, Kuminga, Isaac, Zubac. So Wiggins is out of here, Dash Daniels is out of here, but this is all in the plan to go try to compete this year. And I think Murray is going to help us out with that next to Devin Booker. I think that's kind of a perfect fit, and we'll see how that ends up going. So hopefully with that, we'll be a contending type team. We'll find out how it goes. We're 14-12 currently right now. Well, if with Murray coming in, we'll get even better, and maybe, just maybe we can go win a championship this year. So at the end of the season, Jokic wins MVP, Boozer's Rookie of the Year in Memphis, Giddey's your six-man win defensive player, and Devin Carter most improved. And Booker is your clutch player of the year, playing as well as possible, averaging 32 points per game still. And Popovich is the coach for the Cavs, which is interesting. Here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, Devin Booker making it, which is nice. All defensive first team and all defensive second team. Jonathan Isaac making it is awesome, so love that. 7-7 from him. But we ended up being the first seed, guys. So the DeJounte Murray trade really seemed to work out in our favor. 58-24. Went on a 12-game win streak to close out the season, which is awesome. So this team is doing a lot better than I even thought they could do this year. But you had 32 from Devin Booker, 20 from Murray, and 20 from Kuminga. So not only are you still getting the 32 points from Devin Booker, you're getting more scoring out of, two other players too, which was kind of similar to what we had in year one and almost got to the finals. But will we be able to do that this year? We'll see. So Houston limited us last year in the play-in. So hopefully we can, return the favor here in the playoffs, and we lose game one and we're down 3-1. So did we just get this first seed for nothing, and are we going to get bounced just like that? And it looks like that might end up being the case, which is really disappointing to say the least. And we are going to get eliminated in 5 to this Houston team, even after being the first seed and winning. Yeah, wow. That is disappointing. But Houston, I guess, made it all the way to the finals, or conference finals. So I guess drawing them in a matchup was just unfortunate to say the least. But damn, yeah, that really sucked. But what can you do? So Budenholzer has 1 year left in his contract, and I think that's what we'll do for this video. We'll probably make this one last season. So is there anything else we feel like we can do because yeah, Booker has 1 year left of his contract as well. So yeah, I think it makes sense to finish this video up after this season. So I guess the one player that we can maybe look at trading is Murray to see if we can get an upgrade somewhere. So I'm not doing that. Garland is pretty interesting out of Cleveland. So a Garland Booker backcourt, but we have to trade Isaac, who is our starting power forward and made a defensive team. Dyson Daniels is pretty interesting too. When we get Bones Highland, what else we got? We could also, yeah, sending DeJounte Murray back to Atlanta though is kind of weird. Is there anything else? Nembhard, Ingram, Jaden Ivey, Amon Thompson, but I don't think Houston does this. And we get Capella. So Amon Thompson and Capella for Patrick Williams and DeJounte Murray. No, I don't think Houston trades Amon Thompson, as much as I would love for that to be our final season with this. But I think at this point, it looked like we had something going, and maybe we just draw it up to, we just drew an unfortunate matchup in round 1. Let's just draw it up to that, and we'll rock with whatever, ends up. We'll see what happens. So Washington's a free agent. Other than that, we have no other players to worry about. So Murray, Devin Booker, Kuminga, Patrick Williams, Ryan Dunn, Iguodala, Isaac. There's so many guys at the forward spot. So one thing we can do, though, is we can trade maybe some of these forwards to get a different look here. So Patrick Williams is going to stay. So I guess Caleb Martin would be the one. And then I want to keep Ryan Dunn. I want to keep Kuminga. So I guess Caleb Martin's like the only one I'm looking at that I'm probably going to trade away. And then Yabusele could probably be traded too. So Nick Alexander-Walker. I'm looking for backcourt. So Tyus Jones would get him back on this team. I mean, he was obviously here earlier. Or we get Malik Monk off the bench too from Sacramento. Don't mind that either. Corey Kispert. What else was there? Corey Kispert and PJ Washington. Okay. This is our last trade. Tari Eason, nah. Cason Wallace is pretty interesting, but don't think OKC does that. And then Killian Hayes. So to me, let's bring the familiarity. We either get Monk or we get Tyus Jones back. And I think Tyus Jones would probably be the best player to bring back. So we're going to go Tyus Jones here as our final trade of the video to bring him back to Phoenix. We'll see what this last season has in store for us. We got the first seed last year, but got bounced immediately. All right, well, here is your rotation as everybody is up and overall, so no one's regressing. And then, did I just see that correctly? This player, or is, yeah, Ryan Dunn's up to an 83, so that's going to be clutch to have. But all right, one last final season simulation. We'll see what year number, I think this is 4 or 5, what it has in store for us. So another clutch player of the year award for Devin Booker, but this is our final chance to get a championship in this video. This time we're not the first seed, we're the 4th seed, so maybe that's a good thing. I don't know, we'll see. 31 for Devin Booker, 21 for Kuminga, and 17 from DeJounte Murray. So here goes nothing. The whole rotation's on fire, and Ryan Dunn was our starter this year. But we'll see what happens, man. So we draw Sacramento round 1, which I think is a team we should be able to beat. Yeah, it's pretty much the same team they've had. They have Sohan now, no De'Aaron Fox. So if we lose this team, then we just didn't deserve it at all. So we are going to beat them in 5. But now it is Dallas, but they don't have Luka. So that could, favor our direction. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. No Luka Doncic to deal with against Dallas. And we still lose in 6. I tried to slow it down too, but unfortunately I was not fast enough. So Dallas is still good even without Luka Doncic. Kyrie Irving is doing Kyrie Irving things, but they lose to Detroit as Cade Cunningham is your Finals MVP. So ultimately, I think we can all be on the same wavelength that Phoenix is probably not going to win a championship with Devin Booker. I tried, man. I tried. And this is like the most optimistic way it could go, and it's probably not going to happen. I think inevitably the Suns are going to have to do a full-on reset and probably going to have to trade Devin Booker inevitably, but maybe they find a way not to do it. I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video regardless. I really tried. I'll see you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.